Hello, stampers. Are you one of those early birds that are already making your Christmas cards? I have one for you today. I know it's August, but here we are. We're making a Christmas card. What drew me to make this Christmas card is this stamp set from Stampin' Up. It's called Horse and Sleigh. The horse and sleigh are wonderful, and I'm sure everybody is centering their attention on that. But I just love this little rabbit here. And then we have these great trees. So we're going to be using those, and that just gives you more use out of your stamp set to use these little stamps that are in there that you might not notice as much as the larger stamps. So I'm going to be using that, but I wanted to show you this is a fantastic stamp set, and it's one of our exclusive online sets, and it also has a coordinating die set that goes with it. I'll just show you. I didn't use it today, but I'm going to show you what it looks like. And it has all these dies, of course, to cut out the images for your stamp set, but along with that it has some standalone ones like these here for like snow, if you wanted to get some dimension on your snow. Has a tree in here, and that sleigh, it has multi pieces for the sleigh, so you can get some dimension on that also. So it's a nice set, and you can pick that bundle up, and I have all the links down below this video. Just click show more and you'll see them down there. All the product links are there, along with all the dimensions for the card pieces too. So there is that, and then I got this snowflake, and I'm going to show you that set that I got that out of. Now I'm using the dies for that. These are called the chick dies, and these chick dies take you like through all the seasons of the year. So we have snowflakes, we have seashells, there are leaves. So I use the snowflakes. I use this piece here and this larger snowflake. There's a smaller snowflake too, but those are the pieces I used to create this, but I'll talk about that a little later. And it coordinates with the Seasons of Chick stamp set. Again, it has, you know, seashells and leaves and snowflakes, so it takes you through the whole entire year. I love these sets because they're so versatile. So we're going to get going on our main panel here. I wanted to show you how to create this, and what's so fun about this is that I've added some shadows in here, and a lot of times those shadows are what really make your scene. So let's get going on this project here. I'm going to start with a piece of basic white cardstock, and it's 3 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to rip a post-it note. I have a 3 by 5 post-it note here. And this is the sticky edge up here. And I'm just going to start ripping my hill shape in this. I'm not ripping all the sticky off. And I'm creating a hill shape. So there is my hill shape. So I'm just going to mask the bottom of this post-it note, and that's going to be our snow area. Okay, so now we're going to bring in some balmy blue ink. And I'm just going to blend this all over that unmasked area. Just a circular motion here. I just love these blending brushes. You just get such a nice look with them. So easy to use. So there is our balmy blue. And then I'm going to bring in some Night of Navy. Also a blending brush. And this Night of Navy I'm going to use down here at the bottom of our sky area. There we go. Just gives you a little bit of difference in our sky. Gives you a darker part here, and that really highlights the snow when you have that dark area against the white. So there is that. Now we're going to stamp our trees. Now I don't want to take that post-it note off yet. And I'm just going to stamp our tree image, and this is the tree image that I'm using. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm going to stamp one really tall one here up on this hill. And I'm using Early Espresso, like I said. And then I'm going to stamp some little ones down here. And this is going to be like just sticking up out of the ground. Put one over here. Okay, so we have that done. So now I'm just going to clean this off a bit. And now I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to like switch it up here, and I'm going to flatten out this piece so I've got it tilted. And that's going to make one of our snow drifts. Oh, got a little something on my cardstock. We'll hide that here in a minute. Okay, so we're going to use Balmy Blue and a blending brush, and we're just going to add some along this Post-it note edge. And that's going to create our bottom one. Okay, and then I'm just going to add a little Balmy Blue at the very bottom. I don't want to go very high with this because we're going to put our rabbit in, and I don't want our rabbit to have blue on him. Okay, so we're going to stamp our rabbit next, and I'm going to use that Early Espresso again. And make sure you have this tilted so that line underneath your rabbit is straight across. There we go. There's our little rabbit. How cute is that? And the rabbit, since you want it white, and there's no coloring. So we have that. And now it's time for some shadows. So I'm going to bring back that Balmy Blue again. And I have a piece of plastic here. And this I just took out of one of the stamp sets. A lot of times your stamp sets, the clear stamps, will have this flimsy piece of plastic on top of it. I save those. And then I can use it for this. And if you don't have anything like this cellophane or whatever, that'll work too. A window sheet. And I've listed window sheets down in the description. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask the sky area here, right at the bottom of those brown trees. Then I'm going to take my tree stamp here, and I'm going to load it up. I'm going to stamp off once on my scrap paper, and I'm going to stamp it. I'm going to line it up with that tree. And I don't want to go over the rabbit, so I'm making sure I'm above the rabbit. And that I've got my shadow there now. I'm going to repeat that process for these little bushes here. They're not very big, so I'm going way up. There they are. And then I'm going to move this down, and I've got this one little one here at the side. And there we go. There's our shadows. So that was for the trees. Now we don't need that. We're just going to move this down, and I'm going to cover that rabbit up. I'm going to turn this upside down. It's easier to work that way. Have this plastic piece, and it's lined up with that line that goes underneath the rabbit. And then I'm going to use a blending brush, just the tip of the blending brush, and I'm going to add a shadow here underneath the rabbit. And you don't want to go outside of where the rabbit is. Like, you don't want to go real far behind him or out in front of him, because this is his shadow that he's casting. And there's his shadow. Cute, right? It's so simple. Okay, so that is our design and our layout here. Now we're going to do just a little bit of decorating here. I'm going to get rid of this inky paper. Let's just flip it over. Don't want to risk getting something on my snow here. Okay, so now I'm going to take a early espresso panel. Now this is 3 1/8 by 5 3/8. And this is just 1/8 larger than our main panel here. So I'm going to adhere this on. I'm just going to use some multi-purpose glue for this. There we go, and that just gives us that little bit of edge there to get a little dark edge. Okay, and so here's our main card base, and this is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and I folded it in half to create my quarter card. And then I just took an embossing folder, which I use this Countryside Blossoms. It's a beautiful folder. So I just took this, and after I folded my card, I just put it in here, just embossed the front of the card, ran it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine just like this. And you want to make sure this logo is up, facing up, so your design is the right way. So you have the emboss coming out instead of going in. So I embossed the front of my card there. So this goes on. And I'm just going to center this on the front of the card. Give it a little check here. There we go. Make sure you have good contact with that embossed front of the cardstock. I just flip it over and give it a rub. Okay, so there we have that. Then I want some embellishments on here. I'm just going to take a little length of ribbon. And with this ribbon, by the way, it's one of my favorites because it's really light. You don't have to worry about a lot of bulk on your front of your cardstock. This is the variegated ribbon, and it's balmy blue and white. So it has the blue at the bottom and the white at the top. And what we're going to do is we're going to end up crossing this over like this and putting our snowflake on the front of it. But I wanted to kind of flag the ends of my ribbon. So I'm just folding this in half, and I'm going to fold these in half again. And I'm just going to cut the ends of this. And I'm going to cut it into like that. And then when you open up, you have your two flags on the ends. It's a nice way to finish that ribbon off. All right, and now you just want to kind of figure out where your center point is on your ribbon. And we're going to add a little glue dot on our cardstock here. And I got it like, you know, ½ inch from the top. And then you figure out where the center of your ribbon is. You know, don't have to be exact. And just add it to your cardstock there. And then we'll add another glue dot. We're going to fold this over. This may be a bit long. It is too long. And there's a way to fix that. You don't even have to move it off the cardstock. We're just going to fold it up again. And I'm going to cut some of this off. When I do my flags again. See, not all of us get anything like right the first time. We all make errors. Okay. So let's take a bit of that off. It was way too long. There we go. Now we're going to fold that again, and this is how we're going to want it. Just like that. And I didn't want it too long because I didn't want it to interfere with my scene. So now we're just going to put some mini glue dots down. Got that folded over. Just gonna lift that up, put a glue dot down. It's stuck to my fingernail. There we go. There's one. And then we'll do another one. So now you have that all crisscrossed. Okay, so there's our ribbon part. That's fairly easy. And then we have our snowflake pieces that we cut. And I did this out of early espresso. This is the back of the snowflake. This is the front, and these were done with the chick dies. So we're just going to add these together. Just going to glue them with my multi-purpose glue here. Just add a little glue to a couple of these little things. They don't need to be all glued down, just the main portions of them. Okay. This fits right on that back. And I use that Early Espresso as a backing because I have Early Espresso panel here, Early Espresso trees. So it's nice to repeat the same colors and you don't have such a busy color scheme going on. Okay, so I'm just going to adhere this onto the cardstock. I think I can get away with the glue. I'll just add that on. There we go. So that is the front, and then I just wanted just a bling in the front of my snowflake there, like right in the center. So I'm just going to pick my tools here and put a little rhinestone right in the center. Just for a little bit of bling. And look, this is very flat card. You know, it looks like you have a lot of dimension on here, but it's very flat. So it's one of those Christmas cards that are easy to mail. You don't have to worry about putting extra postage on it or anything. Okay, so now for the inside, I want to stamp on my basic white panel. This basic white panel is 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm just going to stamp my sentiment on that. Took my 2 sentiments from the Horse Sleigh Stamp Set, and I have them both on the same block. That way I only have to stamp it once. I don't have to try to line it up twice. Now I'm going to use Early Espresso for this. And I'm doing this before I put that white cardstock inside of my card. And because if I mess up and it's crooked or not centered correctly, then I have another chance to put it on the opposite side. I could just flip it over and try it again, right? So, stamp before you stick. I'm just going to put Early Espresso panel behind this. That panel is 4 by 5 1/4. Let's add some love inside. This is such a sweet little Christmas card. It just makes me happy. Be nice to have this in my stash already done. Do you like to make a whole bunch of one design, or do you make a bunch of different kinds of cards for your Christmas cards? Let me know below in the comments. It's interesting to see what everybody does. But wow, look at that. We have a nice scene. It doesn't have a lot of dimensions, so it's easy to mail. And I just think it's a beautiful scene. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this project and that you give it a try. Toodles!